Reddit has some pretty crazy stories. And every once in a while, I scroll on whatever social media and one of these Reddit stories pops up. And most of the time, they're really catchy and really strange too. So I end up watching the entire video and wonder what kind of people post these stories and what can I actually find on there, because I haven't really used Reddit a lot myself. So I thought today I'd check out some of the Reddit stories. I'll see what kind of crazy stories I can find on there, and let's have some fun together. So I found this Reddit called Revenge Stories, and I thought it would be a fun place to start. I'm particularly interested in this one right here. My ex-boss tried to give me a bad reference. 2 years later, I left and it backfired spectacularly. Okay, let's read. So this requires a little context. I left my previous job on okay terms, or so I thought. My manager there, I'll call him Rob, had a habit of taking credit for other people's work, and I'll push back on it once in a meeting in the way that apparently he never forgot. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time. I was polite about it, just made sure my contribution was acknowledged in front of the team. He smiled and moved on, and I assumed that was that. I left about 4 months later for a better opportunity. Handshakes all around, nothing dramatic. Fast forward 2 years, I'm applying for a senior role at a company I really wanted to work at. The hiring manager calls one of my references, standard stuff, but then apparently also reached out to Rob separately because they'd found him listed as a former manager on my LinkedIn. Rob, apparently deciding this was his moment, told them I was difficult to work with and not a team player. Ooh. That's evil. I've never understood why people do this stuff. What he didn't know was that the hiring manager and I had already built a pretty solid rapport over 3 rounds of interviews. And she actually called me directly to flag that she'd received an unusual, unsolicited reference and wanted to give me a chance to respond. Well, that's actually really good. Green flag. I would have really appreciated that too, if it was me in this scenario. I was calm about it. I mentioned the meeting where I'd corrected the record on a small project and said I could provide 3 colleagues from that same team who might have had a different perspective. She spoke to 2 of them. I got the job. Rob LinkedIn viewed my profile the week I announced the new role. I saw it. I said nothing. Sometimes that's enough. You know what? This is good. I'm so glad he got the job, and I'm very happy that Rob saw it too. He was probably pissed. I can't believe people are like this. Like, why? Some people are just so butthurt. Not good. Let's find another one. My coworker kept stealing my lunch for months. Here's how it ended. Who the F steals other people's lunches? Where I work, that would have been absurd. Like, I work in a small hospital, so if someone stole my lunch, I would have seen it, first of all, and secondly, it's just such a strange thing to do. Like, who the freak does that? Okay, let's read. So this started back in the fall. I work in a mid-sized office, open kitchen, 1 shared fridge. Okay, this is exactly what I mean. If this is a small place, I just don't understand how you could have the nerve to steal someone's lunch. It's also very strange behavior, by the way. Anyway, I always bought the same thing on Tuesdays, leftover pasta from Sunday, usually in a blue Tupperware with my name written on a piece of tape. Nothing fancy, but it was genuinely the best thing about my Tuesday. I'm not even joking. Then one day it was just gone. I figured maybe I misremembered, brought it home or something. Next Tuesday, gone again. This went on for like 6 or 7 weeks. I started asking around quietly and nobody admitted anything. People just kind of shrugged. Okay, so nobody saw either. Makes it even stranger. Strange colleagues, strange workplace, honestly. My manager said maybe label it better, which, thanks for nothing, Karen. Dude, label it differently. It's not like people would take the wrong meal either. Like, you bring your own food to work. You don't just take other people's lunch by accident. Unless someone else packs it for you. It's still such a strange thing because you place it in the fridge in the first place. And it has his name on it. Like, what the fuck? So my husband suggested I try something. I made the exact same pasta, but this time I mixed in a pretty generous amount of ghost pepper sauce. Way more than any normal person would ever put in food. Okay, that's a great idea. A really freaking great idea. Sealed it up, taped my name on it, put it in the fridge Tuesday morning like always. I went back at lunch and it was gone again. I didn't say a word, just heated up the backup sandwich I brought and sat down. About 20 minutes later, I hear this guy from accounting, let's call him D, making a very distinct kind of noise in the break room. Coughing, gasping, running water. He came out looking like he'd seen a ghost and his eyes were completely red. He didn't say a single word to me or anyone. Busted. Just grabbed his bag and went home sick for the rest of the day. Nobody ever touched my lunch again after that. I never confronted him, never told anyone officially, didn't have to. Some things just have a way of working themselves out. I can't believe he didn't say anything. I definitely would have said something, I think. It's really embarrassing though. Really freaking embarrassing for the guy who stole the lunch. Strange behavior. That's all I'm saying. Really strange behavior. Oh, here's another food story. Dessert stealer got a gross surprise. Okay, let's read this one. So this happened when I was in elementary school back in the late 70s, early 80s. So keep in mind I don't remember everything exactly, but when I was in elementary school, I had a problem with my dessert being stolen. Dessert being stolen. Okay, so I assume he keeps his lunch/dessert in his backpack. Once it had happened a while, my mom decided to do something about it. She took 2 of those generic frosted cookies and decided to make a sandwich to end all sandwiches with them. She put things like peanut butter, mayo, ketchup, I don't know what all, but yeah, it was edible, but many things you wouldn't expect in a dessert, lol. My desserts were never stolen again. We never found out who did it either. Someone commented, so lame it might actually be real. It wasn't a crazy story. It wasn't that crazy. I mean, it's weird stealing other people's food, but it is what it is. The evilest thing, okay? Let's check this one out. I've got a kind of short and sweet one. Hope you all enjoy and that construction workers in the comments don't hate me too much. Okay, so I work from home and for the past 2.5 weeks, my neighbors have been renovating their apartment. It has been a nightmare since the day it began and they said it was gonna last all the way until February 25th. The first day I had to take a day off from work, which gave me pay deductions and I lost my monthly bonus because it was incredibly noisy and my work is over video call. Okay, that's very inconvenient. So being at least somewhat quiet is extremely important. After a couple of days of noise, I went over and politely presented them with a solution. I asked them to please, if possible, just come and knock on my door a day ahead of when they plan to be drilling or making a ton of noise and just let me know. So I could move my desk and PC setup to another room on the other side of my apartment. This is very annoying and difficult to do as my desk is big and heavy and my hallway connecting the 2 rooms is narrow, carpeted and quite long, so I can't just roll the desk. I have to lift it and I live alone. I can't just do this on a whim every day when I hear them drilling. I need a bit of a heads up. Okay, totally understandable. The workers said okay and I went home. It has been about 2 weeks since, during which they have been very loud, very frequently, and not once did they notify me in advance. As you can probably imagine, this has got me very upset. So today, when I was on my way back from the store, I saw them carrying some stuff out of the elevator and I decided to have a little revenge. Okay, really makes me curious to hear what he did. I live on the 7th floor, which they're also working on. My building is old and has a very old elevator which doesn't have an automatic door. The door has to be opened and closed manually using a handle, similar to that on the regular doors in your house. Okay, so I went to the 8th floor and left the elevator door slightly ajar so it's not visible if you look at it from a distance, but doing so means the elevator wouldn't run. In the end, these bozos, okay, had to climb 7 floors of stairs. Hehe, deserved. Really? That's it? That was so disappointing. I thought this was gonna be a crazy revenge story. I'm very disappointed with this. Okay, let's read one more story. Rude customers get leaky ice cream cones. Okay, as a high schooler working a summer at Dairy Queen, to my misfortune, part of the job was to make waffle cones. If you weren't careful, the waffle batter would have hardened in a way that left an opening on the bottom of the cone. And we'd have to set these ones aside as rejects, because otherwise ice cream would leak through the bottom over time. You see where I'm going with this? I couldn't do this to every rude customer because there aren't enough wonky waffle cones in the world, and I didn't want to get caught. But the rude and snappy customers would get a special waffle cone with a free stain maker. That's great. I love that. My favorite was a guy who tried to cut the line and snapped his finger to get our attention. Oh my god, that's so rude. I hate when people do that. I remember that thing happened to me all the time while I worked in a clothing store. Just people snapping. It's so rude. Don't do that. Anyway, where we absolutely slammed on the 4th of July. I was so happy when he ordered chocolate with hot fudge topping in a waffle cone and walked off with it in a nice looking suit. The stars really aligned that day. Oh yeah, he deserved that. Hope it spilled on his suit too. Don't like rude customers. Okay, this was fun. I liked reading these stories. What do you think? Do you have some other stories for me to read? Please leave a comment below. And thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I make videos every single Sunday and I have a Discord community with a lot of awesome people on it at discord.gg/sunny. Would be awesome to have you there. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care and bye!